I got a peek into something that is bigger than me, but I don't overview it. I have no idea about what God is like, if God is the right word.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you peek behind the veil. You get a peek and then it closes and then you're back to being kind of the small self, living your life in time and space, but you have like a taste of infinity and it's like, where do I put this? How do I'm back to being me. I'm back to
Yeah,
being me, moving through space and time, having to deal with the practical matters of life.
yeah.
Uh,
Like mowing the lawn, like I had to do in the morning because I'm going to India the day after tomorrow. It's like all these practical things that you have to do amongst.
it's all God's work, like mowing the lawn, or like I'll sometimes I'll be getting a haircut and I'll be joking to my barber. I'm like, he'll be doing my beard. I'm like, oh, it's just God. It's just
Yeah,
God cutting God's beard. Like it's
yeah,
just very like this very practical stuff that we do, and it's
yeah,
all like a reflection
yeah.
of what can't
And
be explained.
and speaking about God, human beings as God, I'm going to India now, have a project going on, also on the philosophical dialogues with teacher educators there. But they see guests as gods and they give coconut to gods. And that's why when you are a guest in India, often you will get a coconut. And it's kind of a beautiful image of seeing other people as images of God, so to speak.
One of my favorite spiritual teachers, Ram Dass, and he was a Harvard professor and he was like a pioneer in the psychedelic movement. But he also went to India and he met his guru in India. And one of the teachings from his guru was see everybody as God in drag. Like every single person you run, it's just God in a disguise testing you. Like, how are you going to treat me? How are you going to treat me?
Yeah,
So I think that's a wonderful. I think it's a very difficult kind of spiritual ideal to live with, but
yeah,
it's a beautiful way of looking at the world and at others.
yeah,
The other thing that comes up is Ramana Maharshi. He was this also Indian sage, and they used to ask him like, "Oh, how do you treat others? How should you treat others?" And he used to say, "There are no others." That always stuck with me. It was just such a powerful way of looking at the world.
yeah. We're one. And what you do to others, you do to yourself. And that's also the idea of karma in the yoga tradition, for instance, or the
Yeah,
Hindu tradition, that what you kind of put into the world have consequences, and eventually they come back to you in one way or another.
absolutely.
And to me, there's so much similarities between when you really try to get to the core of the world religions, on the human aspect of it and the experiential aspect of it, not really necessarily the teachings or the how humans have made their religions, how they look from the outside, so to speak, when people practice it, but if you look to the core, there's so much in common, because it's really about developing yourself as a good human being with others.
Yeah, it makes me think about the framing you gave a little bit earlier about Bildung. Like I've
Yeah,
actually never
bildung,
heard of
yes.
that. Like making yourself into the image of God, like more and more
Yeah,
moving towards like this ideal you can never fully embody, but it's like
yeah,
it's almost like people, humans, the world, it's almost like moving towards that.
yeah. And that's also kind of the tree of life image in the Bible. I think it's the Psalms. uh, yeah, it says that, don't quote me on that, but it says it says that wisdom is a tree of life. And I think that's also a beautiful question, metaphor.
It's always growing, and it's never final.
Yeah. And also, from the fruits you shall see, understand what the tree is like, is also a saying. And this is a variant, I think, of the karma
Yes.
idea.
Yeah, I also have this perennial kind of view that all the religions they're all talking about the same thing. It's just different fingers. It's all different fingers pointing to the same moon.
Yeah. Yeah. And they all kind of involve human experience. And the big
Big questions.
yeah, and the big people also, they're like Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Socrates, even. They're kind of figures who have experiences beyond what normal people have, and have been able to transmit them in a way that has the power of transforming other people's lives as well, and make others grow.
Yeah, I think for me also, it's like there's a belief, and then really the experience that we too can have those experiences that the great sages and the mystics talk about. And you've had some of these experiences, and I've had these experiences, and there's different ways to have these experiences. For some people it's psychedelics, for some people it's meditation, for some people it's giving birth to a child, to see the divinity, the sacredness of all of existence, and how precious and miraculous and mysterious and wondrous it all is. It's like we all can have those experiences. It's not like reserved for a special few.
No, I totally agree that this is for all, and this is also what the dialogues approach is really about, is by opening the doors a little bit, or the windows into this, without going too far, because I think that's dangerous. We should really not push to, people need to be ready, and they have to go in their own pace. So that's why I'm a little reluctant to, pushing too much in school, for instance, or because you can also kind of get a little bit lost, I think, if you're not ready.
Yeah, makes
I
sense.
was ready because I asked the questions, but I didn't expect to receive what I got. It was totally mind-blowing.
Yeah, a part of me feels like you're never ready. Like you're never ready for that taste. You're never ready to let go of yourself for something that's beyond you. But when it comes, that's when it comes. Almost like it just happens.
Yeah, and then maybe the most important insight is to see how small you are.
And how big you are at the same time.
At the same time, yes. Yeah, yeah,
You're a drop in the ocean, but you're also there's also the ocean in the drop. So it's like it
yeah,
goes full circle.
yeah, yeah. It's quite marvelous to think about life and the world in this way, because
Wow.
everything becomes very much alive